What's going on, YouTube? How you doing on YouTube streets, man? Here we are with the first show after season. Right now, I'm watching some pretty decently excited uh, WNBA players. Two bad teams, but I'm an Angel Reese fan, and I like looking at a team build up. And the Sparks are. I mean, the Sky are a bad team. They don't have a backcourt. They don't. They really don't have a backcourt, and it's making it tough for the two twin towers of Reese and Cardozo. But they're playing against Kelsey Plum in the Sparks, and Forge. Oh yeah, big push off by Kelsey Plum. Obvious. I don't know, but So today's topic, I think, is one of the important topics, man. I think it's an important topic, and I want to get onto it because I think a lot, like what we've seen today, this playoffs should open up a lot of eyes. We saw two teams get to the finals who were not the team you expected, not the sexiest team, not the biggest market, not the biggest marketable stars, right? And then we saw a point guard battle with Halliburton. Obviously, what happened to Halliburton at the end of that series, early in the first quarter in games. Uh, they got to see. That's one thing about when you watch women basketball. They have to stop. They have to explode. It's not the girls that can explode for their layups. You're gonna miss. You're gonna see a lot of missed layups in the WNBA because their lower body strength, their upper body strength is not with the men. They're not as tall. So, it's a lot more physical. It's a lot more, in my opinion, more competitive. But a lot of times these young ladies, they rush their layup and you see a lot of missed layups that way. So, but as far as the NBA goes, we really gotta understand how to judge teams. And there's a lot of this is really a talking point, and I really wish again anybody that comes through to the chat, man, y'all want to bring it up. But this is a tough because I think people are not realizing people are not realizing that when you look at teams and you're just naming the two star players and maybe one of the role players, and you're saying that this is how good the team was. You're doing a team a disservice. You're not. When we judge all time teams, and I think a lot of people have a problem. Like when you start debating players, right? You start wondering, just like T Mac. T Mac brought up something interesting when he was on First Take, giving it to Stephen A. Smith about the situation with Stephen A. Smith calling Giannis an underachiever and sort of stupid. I mean, sort of stupid things. You look at Giannis and you say, well, why does he have 3 first round exits? Not realizing like the team took major injuries either to him or to one of his co-stars. I mean, think about that. Middleton, himself, missing 2 or 3 games. He came back against Miami, wasn't 100%. They lost against Boston in that bubble, I believe, right? Um, it's so many circumstances around it. And then when, again, he got through and won the championship, oh, that's a one-off. Again, the mitigating season, either Middleton got hurt, and of course this Dame got hurt. It matters. Because it's so funny. It's like Dame got hurt in the first round. Early in that series, actually was really nobody thought he had the blood clot and all that. Nobody thought he should be, nobody thought he should be playing. They didn't think he would, be 100%. Then he tore his Achilles. But Halliburton tore his Achilles in Game 7, and they want to put an asterisk on OKC. So we can't do stuff like that. We can't do stuff like that. I think again, people only believe teams are great when it comes down to the sexy star. They don't understand. Can't understand why the Bad Boy Pistons was so great. A lot of times, I think Isaiah was a big enough superstar to really kind of carry the load, but he had a lot of firepower around him. He had a lot of warriors, and big physical guys, and guards that can, you know. So that's why that team was able to knock on the door and win the championship eventually. Get to three straight finals. Get win back to back, and then the Bulls had their turn. They had their turn. You know, we look at those Bulls teams. I mean, I never thought I would live to see the day where people actually thought the Bulls were quote, even though we didn't even have that back then, that term. But the fact that people really look at the Bulls as super team is really asinine. It really is. I mean, Scotty was a great player, but Scotty was never known for uh, offensive explosions. He don't have a lot of 30-point games, especially in the playoffs. Scotty was a guy who get on a great game, on his best game, he'd give you normally about 28, 29. In the best game, I think his career high is maybe 38 or 39. Like, I don't think Scotty has a 40-point game in his NBA career. I think y'all need to understand it. And again, yes, he was very versatile, one of the best defenders in the league. I mean, not the lockdown perimeter defender people think he was, but he was a great defender. No doubt about that. The Bulls were built off those great two-way wings, right? And a lot of guys that did specialty jobs around them. Really, the only other guy that you could say was a complete player that might have been number one and number two on a good playoff team is Tony Kukoc. Might have. And you didn't see too many examples of that. So, I mean, it's like I had to explain. A lot of people have to be explained why the Celtics were so great. The Celtics had a lot of great players. They weren't the biggest team. They weren't the fastest team. They were the best. They were the best. How would you say? They're the best organized team. They were probably the deepest. They weren't. I mean, it was Bill Russell in the power forward be like 6'6". They'll be taller teams. I see Carcino just pulled up with how awful is Stephen A. Smith covers of the finals. We could get into that too because that's one of the big reasons. Seriously, that's one of the big reasons why. A lot of again, I get into this, man. I get into this because these guys on ESPN, they're misleading you. Like for Carcino to come up there and say how awful was Stephen. I heard that Richard Jefferson. Look, the game. I think I was able to go live with Zay in about 3 or 4 games. You're turning that shit down, bro. ESPN needs to get. They really need to get out of. They need to go the route of TNT because TNT really got the better coverage of the two, but ESPN always had the finals. ESPN and ABC always had the finals. NBC needs to have the finals. I really hope that they out. I don't know if they're gonna do the rotation thing like they do in football. Come on, Cardozo, take your time. You're 6'7". Stop throwing it up there. But good, she got a me bound, Camila Cardozo. Again, even when I look at a lot of people who hate Angel Reese, and again, she's got a lot to be desired. She has to get stronger and get more upper body strength to become the player that she can become. But she's a tenacious rebounder. But they just don't have a backcourt, and that's why they're so bad. They get nothing out of their guards. And again, this is the thing that I like to say, man. You got when y'all look at teams, y'all really got to look at teams top to bottom. Y'all really, I always do this. So every time I look at a team, like I when I did a video earlier, I listed teams that I thought. I think 14 teams. Right now, as we go into the off season, or trades already coming. If y'all didn't know that a couple of days ago, Drew Holiday got traded back to Portland. Remember, he went to Portland from Milwaukee, and then Milwaukee, like he never played for Portland, and then Portland sent him over for the combination of Robert Williams and a couple other pieces that they turned him to Boston. He won the championship. The rest is history. Um, you know, but he's back in Portland, and then they traded Porzingis. Boston traded Porzingis to Atlanta. Pretty much got back. What's that role player? George Niang. Now it's funny because George Niang is one of those. George Niang will fit in like a glove. Chicago just took the lead. A layup by I think Atkins. Let me see. They run a pick and roll to Reese. Okay, Reese hit the layup. Okay, there you go. So hey, I mean that's another thing, man. We might get into this. I don't know if I'm gonna do a whole WNBA show because a lot of y'all not feeling the W. I'm feeling the W. I've always liked the watching women's basketball. Again, the problem is they got a little too rainbow centric at some point, and it's not that I mean, it's not that I have any prejudices against that, but I mean, it's just like if 90% of the league is that, it's not that appealing. They hate to say it. Now they've gotten a lot more feminine acting, feminine dressing women in the league, and that's more marketable. That it makes you want to watch more. Just saying. But anyway, I mean, I'm not trying to be so to this that I want to go down that rabbit hole. But at the end of the day, yeah, that's part of what that's part of what brings you to women's sports. You want to look at these young athletes as idols in some way. Um, but so like I said, when it comes to judging certain teams, players have. I mean, fans really. I think again, you look at two guys and you think that's the team. Jaylen Brown and no, the Celtics are great because of their role players. A team can only be as great as its role players. Now they can only be great as the greatness of the superstar can carry them. But you need a role player. It's like Tom Brady cannot pass. Patrick Mahomes cannot pass with an offensive line. Without an offensive line, if his offensive line is substandard, he's not gonna play that well. You know what I mean? So with all of that, I think especially whatever team you root for, man, anybody that's here, if you root for a squad, get an idea of what your team needs. It seemed like a lot of Laker fans feel that they need another superstar. Well, that's the last thing they need. They need better role players. They need a center. Does the center have to be Bam Adebayo? It's so funny because LeCuz came on Zay the other night, and again, that's what started the whole LeBron thing. Because after we said, I mean, it's like, okay, he wouldn't give any of the smoke to LeBron for being 40, but here's the thing: you're second All NBA. You're second All NBA. Not only that, he had the most second place votes on the All NBA. He had the most first place votes on the second team. So he was second team by a lot. So really, the way that the voting went out, he's like the sixth best player in the league. But he gets none of the smoke. Now again, the team, as I say going in, the Lakers will had a lot to be desired. Cardoso with a nice roll to the basket. Sky up 4. Will they win another game? They're at home. Um, yeah, they gotta get the bigs. They gotta get the bigs some more layups. That's it, because they have no outside shooting. They have no scorer in the backcourt. You know. But when it came to the Lakers, they were missing so much of the team. They still are. They don't have a perimeter lockdown defender. They don't have a rim protector. The smoke and mirrors that made people think The smoke and mirrors that made people think they actually had a great defense. I never saw it. I never understood what people were looking at. I mean, offensively, were they great? Were they great at times? Yeah. When you have Luka and LeBron, you better be. But what we saw in the playoffs, again, that 85 number in the fourth quarter, 85 points for a 5-game series, because that's 60 minutes of basketball in overtime, was horrible. It was just horrible. So they showed that they're a team that runs out of gas. When I talk to the cuz, I say, because you're gonna need some young talent. No, we don't need young talent. We need proven talent. This is the thing that people still believe. People still believe that they need proven talent, proven veterans, guys in their 30s. You cannot win. You cannot win with guys that all strictly in their 30s. Doesn't work. Just try to build a team with guys in their 30s in this day and age. You saw what a back and forth barn burner in the finals was. OKC, the second youngest team of all time. Look, they might not win the championship next year, but they will be a fixture. Definitely, I guarantee to be a fixture in the title run for the rest of this decade, without a doubt. OKC is definitely going to be in. They're definitely going to be in the finals picture. They're going to be in the championship picture. So again, I think they're beatable. They showed they were, but they have every reason to be the favorites. The odds are favorites going into next season. You know, but they're young. So you're the Lakers. You think you're going to beat OKC with a bunch of 30 somethings vets? I get the trade that Houston made for KD. I thought they gave up a lot. They gave up a lot. I mean, again, people who think the second round draft picks hold no value, they actually hold more value than first round picks. Because again, if you're gonna build a team with high ticket players, you gotta have to have at the end of your roster second round picks that you control who make league minimum money. They called it out of bounds. Yeah, I'm watching the sky. Anybody just watching sky and in the Sparks look like Angel Reese had a layup unless they took it all. They didn't count it. But it's important again. It's important to have second round picks because those second round and it's important that they turn into decent players. Elisa late first round. Cardoso again. There you go. It's 6'7". Hard to keep out of it. He gets another rebound. He got a career high 24 points tonight, Camilo Cardoso. Shout out to Brazil. All right. So yeah, I mean, you cannot have a bunch of high ticket players and not have got because you got to fill out the bench and you got to let these guys hit. Okay, look at OKC. They were all these guys were homegrown. They were homegrown. They came basically their whole team came out of the Paul George trade. The sparks are melting down. The sparks are melting down. But yeah, a lot of OKC's team, Jalen Williams and SGA, their big two came from the trade. Now their own, as far as Holmgren, if you want to consider him the big three, he's been injured a lot so far in his career. But he's really designed to be their second best player, Jalen Williams, But they got a good three. Those guys are still on their rookie deal. Next year, Jalen Williams is going to be extension eligible. and I believe Holmgren will be as well. So you have to pay those big boys, right? And again, that's where they're gonna start saying goodbye to guy. I mean, I believe they got Caruso on. OKC. I can see by the crowd. They are not built to go big time into the over the salary cap into the first second aprons. They're not built to pay that penalty. So yeah, they're gonna start making decisions but then they got more picks. This is where y'all gotta understand this, man. The NBA draft is tomorrow. If you're a basketball junkie like me, it would behoove some of y'all to pay, because even I'm going to learn a lot about a lot of players. I really should have been tuning in to NBA TV to get an idea of what's going on in the combine. Obviously, we know Cooper Flag probably going number one. Dallas is probably going to stay and pick that pick. Hey, Giannis could be traded tomorrow. A lot of things can happen tomorrow, man. We've already seen a couple of blockbusters this week. I don't know if calling Kristaps Porzingis at this point for George Niang the blockbuster, but obviously, Boston is the team that felt they needed to take a scale back. And see, that really is the key. The CBA has made it to where you can't. The CBA has been yeah, we're gonna pay you guys 60, 70, 80 million dollars. Here's the problem. You can't sit there and group up on one team. You can't do it. You can't have an 80 million to 60. Like Jimmy Butler's gonna make $63 million. Crazy. Crazy. At 36, 37 years old. That's gonna be crazy, man. I'm just saying. Jimmy Butler's already 36 years old, man. He's gonna make 53 million. He's gonna make another 63 million. He's gonna make another 67 million, something like that. Out of so it really again, it behooves teams to get young talent. Young talent is very necessary. Develop the rookies. That's the issue that I had with the Knicks. Why were we not developing these young guys? I mean, you got to like sometimes these it's a three. Yep, 8 point lead for the Sky. Beautiful rebound. So things are coming together. If they had a backcourt, watch out for the Sky. But I don't know this year. John Ball. Again, every team needs every element. You need outside shooting. Yep, or for Angel Reese, so the offensive rebound and the assist to the three. Angel Reese made a lot of winning plays tonight. Shout out to Angel Reese. Reebok. They won. They Spark won the jump ball. Love missed the layup. Another rebound for Angel Reese. 15 boards tonight. She had 4 at halftime, 11 in the second half. For those that don't understand what she's good at, why she's been probably so far the best rebounding in WNBA history so far in her early career. So that matters. You need rebounds. The Knicks need rebounders. The Knicks need another wing. Again, we might have the answer in Dottie. We might have the answer to that. We do need a rebound. I know that much. We do need an athletic wing, and I will feel really good. I want to talk about who's going to be the contenders next week. Who's going to be the front runners? I think right now, just not before we hit free agency, before we hit the draft. Yeah, Sparks. Guy are running away with this one. Before we hit the draft, I think the Knicks. I think Orlando. I think Orlando is going to be very high up there. Orlando gets everybody back. Everybody will be healthy. Hopefully, again, I'm not foreseeing any injuries. I'm not seeing any injuries, but I think the rebound for Angel Reese 16. He had 19 in the last game, 16 tonight. Angel Reese, where you give y'all again. I think people judge it. They think that like these power forwards are like Carmelo. She's not Carmelo. She's 6'3". She's 170 pounds. She's the size of an NBA guard. You know what I mean? Without the explosive jumping power. So what you're watching again, people that get on her for her field goal percentage and stuff like that, you don't understand. You don't understand the game. A lot of people, again, I think a lot of people don't understand the game, man. I think that's what it is. A lot of people, they just don't understand the game. They look at it, and they look at it from a superstar perspective. They don't look at it from a true basketball player perspective. Some of the best basketball players, especially when they get late in their career, they get out of their prime. Rachel Banham, the one hitting a big shot. You need to get her involved, man. She can shoot. But you got to learn how to become a role player, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Okay. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm saying, look, the fact that I watch the W basketball right now, I'm over for baseball. Used to be my first love. The Mets right now blew another lead to the damn Braves. We just can't. A season where we was killing it. Now all of a sudden the Braves are back to knocking us around. This is just frustrating, man. We cannot get over the Braves. What's the score now? 7-3. At a 3-0 lead. The Mets are like on a 1-9 swoon right now. But I'm watching basketball because I love basketball. I love every level of basketball. Beautiful Angel missed the way, but she got a rebound back. No, she didn't. Again, that's what I say. It's like I think the ladies really need to be coached on slowing down, exploding more. But it's hard. It's not they're not the men. They don't have the upper body strength. So you're watching a different game. You're watching more of a jump shot, pick and roll type game. Those layups look sloppy because they're just not the same level athlete. And that's okay. He's still are the best women in the world playing basketball. To realize what it, but I love basketball at all levels. You had a daughter and she played basketball, you would understand what you're watching. You wouldn't expect her to play like your son. Oh, they are three to bank in. A side three that banked in. But that's what make you believe was a corner three that hits the rim and banks in. I never seen nothing like that. Mm. Camila Cardoso with again, rebound is such an important part of the game. Rebound is such an important part of the game. So people that don't appreciate rebounders and bigs. I was looking at the All NBA teams. Like there's like there's like two true centers. I don't even consider. I mean, honestly, Cat was one of them, and the other one was Joker. We used to have it where the five best players in the league could have been centers, and some of them weren't going to make an All NBA team. It's crazy, you know. But yeah, man. I mean, look again. I think because some of the debates that I've had, some of the discussions that I've had, I think people really don't understand how to judge teams. They don't know what team basketball is about. They don't know how. Again, I believe that a lot of people don't. They can't judge these teams, so that's why it was shocking that the Patriots got there. I was wanting to say the Patriots are going to be a tough out every round. I predicted them to lose because honestly I did not know that they were very well coached by Carlisle, and their defense was a lot better than I thought it was. Now again, it kind of wore out. They only scored 90 points in the closeout game, the game seven. They only scored 42 in that second half. They ran out of gas. They ran out of gas. OKC's defense locked in. The Atkins with a nice take. Yeah, man, I'm a basketball junkie. These guys at Gold Jays Kingdom, because I was responding to what they said. All right, C-Dub. Because I was responding to what they said. Um, and the thing about, no, everybody was scared of Jordan. I mean, the Bulls. I don't think everybody was scared of the Bulls. I think everybody was scared of Jordan. Maybe by Pippen by extension. And I said that they wound up seeing me say Jordan. Nobody was scared of LeBron and his super team. Cardozo is dominant tonight. Did he get hurt? Shout out to Camila Cardozo, 27 points up career high. Again, man, you're not going to see 50-point games, stuff like that. You're not going to see that in this league. You're not going to see dunks. I mean, I think should they keep the 10-foot rim? Yeah, I believe so. You don't want to change these ladies' jump shot, things like that. It's going to be a whole different. Just to see a couple more dunks. They don't need a 9-6 rim. They don't need a 9-foot rim. Nothing like that. Keep it at 10. It's 10 at every level. You're gonna be gimmicky. Yeah, look like Sky's gonna pull away for a win. Great game, great all around game by Angel Reese. Let me see what they said on the air, ESPN. Uh I just want to read off this. I just want to look at the box score, see what Angel Reese and Cardozo did tonight. Angel Reese had 6 assists. That's a see. She can play. She's a scrapper. She's a scrapper. She's not powerful enough to be a dominant power forward inside yet. She's very tenacious and she scraps. You got to realize what game people have, and I think that's what she. So she hit 2 free throws. Box score. Let me see. 15, 17, and 6. Beautiful night. Unbelievable night. Cardozo, 27 and 7. I'm put all stats. As long as she's still in blocks. She had 4 steals. Cardozo had 2 blocks. Great game, man. Great game by the Sparks. Again, this is 2 of the worst teams in the league. And again, when I was saying about what they told about me on Gold Jays Kingdom, because I said nobody fears LeBron's in the super team, and that's why it was nobody really feared the Bulls. There was a healthy level of respect. You didn't poke the bear when it came to Jordan because every time you did it, Jordan would absolutely murder you. It's a difference. Just saying, I don't, again. So, but when I said no one fears LeBron in the super teams, I meant it. No, they never put fear in the league. I mean, maybe the Heatles at one point, for the most part. Nah, I mean, again, they got the doors wrong by the Spurs in 2014. They should have got the doors wrong in the Spurs 2013. The Spurs played horrible that series. The Heat, that was the closest to a dominant team that LeBron has ever played on. When I sit there and try to judge, when I sit there and try to judge the players on the teams of LeBron's early career, it's just so many misnomers that he like. The whole point was is like the Cubs was going at it was I'm LeBron went and got 5 guys from the 7-Eleven. Get in the car. That's the part that's unfair. So when Lamont comes in and we're talking about LeBron, you understand what I'm saying? This is the part that's unfair. Okay, he didn't get a second scorer the level of Scottie Pippen. Yes, Larry Bird famously said LeBron makes these guys look better than they are. That's how he felt. That's how he felt. Every one of them, every one of them had a certain level of skill. Every one of them had a certain reason why they win the league. Were they any superstars in the bunch? Of course not. Were they good players in the bunch? Yes. Yes. Of course. But okay, LeBron didn't get a Scottie Pippen in those early years. That don't mean they weren't good to great teams. You can't. How do you win 66 games? How do you win 61 games and not be a great team? Not be a very good team? This is the problem. What LeBron, and I get it. LeBron was a big part of their offense. Everybody else was a big part of their defense. And their defense, the way they limited teams in scoring, was why they won that amount of games. So again, what was the second star? Yeah, you're right. LeBron never had a bona fide second star for a long length of time. That is what the big criticism on Cleveland was. As I said, in the second set of Cleveland went at the time went into the level payroll to help get LeBron. 1 second. So yeah, Cavs had a chance to draft Kevin Martin. Remember, Kevin Martin was a second round pick. You're right. Again, you look, Cleveland missed on some guys. They drafted with LeBron in 2004. They drafted Luke Jackson. Luke Jackson turned out to be nothing. Luke Jackson turned out to be nothing. When Lamar came on the other night, you was there, Woodage, I believe. When Lamar came on the other night, he basically made the mistake of saying that the Lake that the what's the name had Scott got Scottie Pippen as a lottery pick. The Bulls never had a lottery pick in Michael Jordan's first few years because they didn't make the lottery. They won. They made the playoffs every year. I had to correct Lamont, and again they traded up into the lottery. They traded Olin Polynice, and they had to give up a first round pick, I believe, in '88 or '89 to get again Brad Sellers. Not wasn't a lottery pick. Matter of fact, let me look at the Chicago Bulls draft history because again I'm rehashing that. I'm rehashing that conversation because, of course, when you talk to Lamont from FYF, obviously that's he's got a big channel. 1 second. But I'm looking at Bulls draft history because I got to get it right. So I'm make a claim. I'm not looking at things on the computer like some people tend to do. The Bulls draft history. So I'm going to look at Chicago Bulls draft pick. And I want to look specifically into those Jordan years, those early Jordan years. So 85, okay, 85. The Bulls drafted Keith Lee. They traded him to Keith Lee. So remember, the Bulls, the Cavs drafted Luke Jackson. The Bulls traded Keith Lee and they traded him on draft pick. So they really have a first round draft pick, Michael Jordan's first year. Then in '86, making the playoffs, they drafted Brad Sellers. So that 30-win team wound up good. Then it was '87 when they drafted Olin Polynice and traded him. They drafted Larry Krystkowiak and traded him. Back then they actually drafted Pete Myers, who would one day become the starting two guard. Who had one day become the Krause did have 3 picks in '89, and they trade. Yeah, so Woodage is really Woodage is coming up clutch and telling us what what that early Bulls history. So guess what? This is what's proven. The Bulls gave through the draft at least gave Jordan the same level of help that LeBron did those early 3 years. Again, Brad Sellers I want to read off Brad Sellers' career stats. Brad Sellers, his career averaged 6 points and 3 rebounds. He's a 7-footer from Ohio State. A 7-foot guy. He lists him as 210. I'm sure he gained a little bit of weight. He averaged 8 and 5 as a rookie. He averaged 9 and 3 the next year. So, I mean, he played 27 minutes too. They started 76 games. He was starting over Horace Grant. Think about that. Yeah, outside of 87. Thank you, Woodage. Thank you. He tried to make it like Jordan had a bunch of lottery help. I mean, the same level of help. The thing is, LeBron had Carlos Boozer and Ricky. Carlos Boozer, I thought would be his number 2 scorer, but he went to Houston. He went to Utah after LeBron's rookie year. So again, they couldn't retain Carlos Boozer. Again, they had him for 2 years as a 2nd-round pick. I couldn't believe when I watched the 2002 draft. I could not believe Carlos Boozer didn't go lottery. The Knicks passed on him twice. I couldn't stand that the Knicks passed on him, and he went to Utah. Funny thing is, he wanted to go to Utah, but he wanted to go to kind of Cleveland. I don't know. I'm not sure if Cleveland actually drafted him. They had Ricky Davis. They had Switch Parker. They had Darius Miles. They had a lot of talent there in Cleveland already beforehand. Similar to what Jordan did. I know Orlando Woolridge was great. Yeah, he had Orlando Woolridge. By the time he's playing the Celtics, Orlando Woolridge is no longer on the team. You know what I'm saying? So I just want people to understand that. I mean, I did a lot of times. I was trying to get it that night. I was trying to get the Bulls draft history situation that night. Olden Park, again, 87 was the 1 year. And what did he pick? Kukoc. So he picked Kukoc in 20. He actually picked Kukoc in the 2nd round, the 29th pick in 1990. So that would be after they lost to the Pistons. That's when he picked up Kukoc, and with a 2nd-round pick. He drafted Stacey King. He drafted Will Perdue. Give me the draft pick, because even Scottie Pippen technically was not a draft pick. Horace Grant was the only draft pick, original Bulls draft pick, that was great. The only one. The only one with Jordan in that uniform, bro. I can't wait till CW get here, because this is something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, some of the 90s draft. I'm gonna look at more of this, man. Because what is came up clutch right here, bro. Stacey King with the 6th pick. They actually that was a lottery pick, and they drafted Stacey King. Stacey King, career 6 points and 3 rebounds. B.J. Armstrong, okay, that was a good pick. Being he was the 18th pick of the 89 draft. I think they went down to 3 picks. Coming 3 rounds in 88. I think that might have been the last year. They didn't. They had 7 rounds up to 87, and I think after that, that's when at CBA, Jack Haley. That's another name that I recognize. The Bulls drafted Jack Haley, career 3.5. Jack Haley was a hell of a volleyball player, from what I understand. Olden Poly needs for Pippen again. And remember, as we said, his name wasn't Scottie Pippen. It was Scott Pippen. When they drafted the Bulls, he wasn't even Scottie at. When they drafted Scottie, he wasn't Scottie at. Jason Caffey had a Michael Finley. Yep. That happened too. Jason Caffey. Yep. Number 20 from Alabama in the 95 draft. Dickie Simpkins. Corey Blount. Byron Houston. He was a decent player. Career 4 points. Tony Kukoc was the only player that Krause drafted who was any fucking good. Horace Grant was the only player that drafted. So Horace Grant and Kukoc were the only 2 players That Krause drafted while the Bulls. Yeah, even after Corey Benjamin, 28th pick, Corey Benjamin. Then Elton Brand. I don't know if Krause was there to make that pick. Corey Brand, a Metta World Peace. Jordan was drafted in '84. The next time they actually had a slam dunk draft pick would be Elton Brand when they had the first pick in the '99 draft. And the second one they picked Metta World Peace, as we all know, the Knicks famously passed on. As a matter of fact, Cooper's got 59 win shares. Goris got 118 career win shares. They're the only two players that Krause drafted that had 50 win shares, because even B.J. Armstrong had 45 win shares in his career. I mean, come on, y'all. Michael, just so you know, Michael Jordan had 214 win shares. 214 for his career. $214 win shares, bros. Houston was drafted over P.J. Brown. What is this clutch, bro? What is you a Bull fan? Let me know if you're a Bulls fan, because you know this as well as I know the Knicks draft smokes. We got to clip this part up, man, for sure. I had a great show with Johnny the Exposer last week. That was my last Tuesday show. Yeah, okay. So Woodage is a Bulls fan. They do exist. Thank you. Oh, Woodage, you're the man. I salute you. I salute you, because this narrative that the Bulls just showered Jordan with help, that the Bulls that they couldn't be showered with it. That's the thing. Scottie Pippen, again, an NAIA player. It was Krause's draft pick. If they got Seattle would never. Seattle felt like, okay, I don't know. I think it was a couple other people looking at Scottie Pippen. So Krause probably felt that he was not going to drop to 8th. So they gave Seattle an offer they couldn't refuse. Again, that was a great move, because I've always criticized Donnie Walsh as the Knicks GM for not doing the same. I've always criticized him for not doing the same with Steph Curry, where he stood pat at 7. He stood pat at 8, knowing that Minnesota had 2 picks, 5 and 6, and Golden State, even though they had Monte Ellis, who did he think they were looking at? He did not go and draft up. Mind you, the 5th pick that year was the Knicks, to be honest, but we had it traded. I'm trying to remember who we had it traded from. But the 5th pick, that was the Knicks actual pick, man. Krause is part of the football front office a bit in '76, and suggested they drafted Parrish. Was probably my favorite center of all time. But they had Gilmore coming in. Okay, all right. Okay, yeah. What is with the club history?
Pippen was the greatest player of all time. Jordan had the greatest player on his team.
Yeah,
every year.
Yeah, yeah. But I was just going, and I wish I knew how to. I can't share screen from here. Let me send you a link. Let me send you a link. See if we could do, because we should be able to do this. Okay. I want it visually, because Lamont really made this point. And again, it's not that Lamont. It's not that I want to do a show about Lamont, but I want people to understand things. Like Lamont acted like the Bulls had this great draft stock around when they got Jordan. And they didn't see it. I'm gonna send it to you on WhatsApp. See if that works. I'll put it on the screen too. I mean, I put it in.
Okay. Oh.
Basketball reference. For those, I put it in the chat too. So click either link and see if you can like pull it up on the computer and we could share the screen.
Okay, yeah.
Because again, I mean, and I could do by comparison what the Cavs did with LeBron. You know, the pick before Jordan was Sidney Green, the 5th pick, and out of UNLV. Now he had a decent career. Shit. No, he didn't. The 5th pick averaged 7.6 rebounds, 17 career win shares. Before that, Quentin Daly was the 7th pick.
Are you able to put that in a private chat?
Yeah, let me put it in a private chat as well.
That link.
All right, that might work. Yeah. Let me put it in the private chat. Oh Lord, where's the private chat?
I'll be able to click on it.
I put it in the comments. You know what? I can't. That's one thing I noticed since I was started. I can't get to the private chat either. Hold on. Okay, I see that. All right, there we go.
Okay, hold on, I can get
to it. Hey, there we go. So, I'm looking. So, they did draft Orlando Wolves in '81. So again, the success rate of the Bulls was not great. You had the 5th pick, you drafted Sidney Green. You had the 7th pick, you drafted Quentin Daly. You had the 6th pick, you drafted Orlando Woolridge. The 4th pick in 1980, they drafted Kelvin Ramsey. And they traded him instantly. Well, at least Kelvin Ramsey averaged double-digit scoring. David Greenwood, okay, that was a decent pick. The 2nd pick, he was actually the 2nd pick after Magic. I believe the 3rd pick in that draft was Sidney Moncrief. So they passed it on to Sidney Moncrief to get David Greenwood. They drafted Reggie Theus. That was a decent one in '78. You know, he was the coach on City Guys, the NBC show. He was coaching Scott May, and that's Sean May's father. 2nd pick of the draft, they drafted Scott May in '76. You remember Sean May, right? You won a championship with him. They drafted Maurice Lucas in '74.
Oh yeah, he a Tar Heel great.
Yeah. Well, Scott May went to Indiana. He played for Bob Knight, I believe. Yeah, hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, this looks much better on the but yeah, you could. So this is Can you go back to the '80s? Can you scroll down to the '80s? Because again, we're at the point where, again, I think it was a misnomer that it was a big misnomer that the Bulls were just showering. Again, they had one good draft. That was '87, where he drafted Horace Grant. They had the extra pick, and they traded up to get Scottie Pippen. Again, he used his extra picks to get to make that move, and it turned out he was right. Again, but it also took Scottie Pippen some cooking. They had to cook Scottie Pippen up into a great player. That's the misnomer.
Yep.
Let me put you, because I was saying what I do. Let me do Cleveland Cavaliers. Sure. Oh, I thought you had something to say.
Oh no, I'm saying I'm just looking at the names, and yeah, Jordan wasn't playing with a whole lot. Just looking at these names.
Yeah, I mean the guys they brought in, the guys they got in was either through trades. They got Sam Vincent in there at some point, right? They got, Charles Oakley. It wasn't even, he was drafted by Cleveland. I forgot how they got him. So I'm looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers draft picks, and let's go. I'm gonna go from '99. Obviously, Jonas they drafted. They had two in the famous '96 draft. They had Vitaly Potapenko. He wound up going to Boston not that long after. But Jonas Sagauskas, obviously the 20th pick. That was a great pick. Derek Anderson out of Kentucky. I see where they was going. At least Derek Anderson averaged double digits. They drafted Ryan Stack in '98. They drafted Andre Miller in 1999. They kept him. They drafted Jamal Crawford and traded him to Chicago. All right, 2001 they missed on the Sajana Diop, the African guy. They drafted DeJuan Wagner now in 2002, right before the DeJuan Wagner was supposed to be the man. In all fairness, and they also drafted Carlos Boozer. So right off the bat, right before getting LeBron, the Cavs. Now I realized that Andre Miller from '99 wasn't. Let me see what Andre Miller wound up. Oh, he got 3 years in Cleveland, and he left Cleveland right before. Okay, he left Cleveland before the 2002 season. He actually had the assist title in 2002. So the year before LeBron got drafted, he wanted to go being with the Clippers. Let me look at the transaction there, because Andre Miller could have been his number, could have been his guy. Now, Miller was a guy that needed the ball a lot. So how would that have worked? Let me see transaction for Andre Miller. Andre Miller was always underrated. I always liked Andre Miller a lot. So transaction. So they traded him. Okay, so they basically traded him for with Brian Stiff, and Brian Stiff was one of them good scoring guards. They traded him for Harold Jameson, not Antoine Jameson, and Darius Miles. So they were trying to hit it big. Darius Miles, the people don't forget. Darius Miles, the guy who he was supposed to go to St. John's, never really played in college. And so they were trying to hit a home run with Darius Miles. It didn't necessarily work out. Okay. But Andre Miller, so that's how Andre Miller went to the Clippers. And but they did hit right before LeBron with DeJuan, and again, DeJuan Wagner didn't turn out that way because of injuries, but DeJuan Wagner was supposed to be one of those guys. All right? For sure, DeJuan Wagner was supposed to be a hit. But Carlos Boozer was a good player. You know what I mean? Of course, LeBron. Then they drafted Luke Jackson. They didn't have a pick in either round in 2005. I don't know why. I would have to look into But then in 2006, they drafted Shannon Brown and Boobie Gibson in the second round. Again, none of these are terrible players. They're actually better. They're actually better than nobody with 50 win shares. Carlos Boozer had 80 win shares. LeBron has 271. Obviously, probably the most of all time, being his 22, given his 22 years. But then they drafted J.J. Hickson, again, a decent player, 9 points, 7 rebounds.
Wasn't J.J. Hickson NC State?
Yeah, out of NC State. Yep. They drafted Shannon Brown. Remember, Shannon Brown was in the same high school class with LeBron. Remember, they had the famous dunk contest where everybody thought Shannon Brown should have won.
He did win that. He should have won that. I'll say.
Yeah. So Luke Jackson, again, that was a miss. I will give him that. Luke Jackson averaged 3 points a game and 10 career minutes. Also, Jason Capono, the second round pick after LeBron, he was a decent player as well. I don't really see what Jason Capono's career went. Well, basically, he played the rookie year with LeBron, and then he went to Charlotte, and then he wound up bouncing around the league before being out. But really, so you look at it, Carlos Boozer and DeJuan Wagner. Those were supposed to be the two guys. And then just DeJuan Wagner injury, his son is playing in he followed Coach Cal to Arkansas. Let's see if he winds up being anything in the league. But yeah. Rookie year, he averaged 13 a game. Again, on a terrible team. We get it. But by the second year, injuries and, he had this viral illness or something, and that was it. So unfortunately, DeJuan Wagner was really supposed to be his Pippen. Yeah. Woodage is coming up clutch with these facts, man. He could have had Marley. Like a lot of guys he passed up on. Again.
I'm just looking through these names, man. Looking through these Bulls through these years. And
Yeah. I mean, Lamar made it like the Bulls were in the lottery. Again, I'm like Lamar. They went in the lottery because they made the playoffs. And they still had early draft picks, right? They still had early draft picks, but Brad Sellers ain't it, bro. Now they hit they hit with Horace, they hit with Scotty, and then they hit with Kukoc in 1990. But other than that, these guys were Stacey King. They had the 6th pick and they drafted Stacey King. Understand? And again, we don't look at because Stacey King has rings. We don't look at him as a bad player. So man, we gotta clip this up. We gotta clip this up, man.
The only players worth anything: Tony Kukoc, B.J. Armstrong, a little bit. Horace Grant.
Scotty was a draft day trade, so they had to trade up to get him. And again, as I said, he wasn't even Scottie Pippen. He was Scott Pippen. With the 5th pick the Seattle Supersonics draft Scott Pippen out of Central Arkansas. Everybody like, who? Who the hell is that?
Pippen, listen, now he was the best player on that Bulls team throughout them 6 championships. Some of these people talk.
But so they had all that again. I wish I had this because I knew that the Cavs drafted pretty well. Before again they drafted Zagunis, Ilgauskas, they drafted R.J. Miller in 99. They drafted Boozer in the 2nd round in 02. They drafted DeJuan Wagner in 01. 02. The first round. But they had some good draft picks around LeBron James. Again, for one, Boozer went to Utah right after LeBron's rookie year, and they had a hard time keeping everybody. I will agree with Lamont on that. They didn't want to, again, they weren't making that much money to really go high into the lottery. So he said that Phoenix offered them Amari Stoudemire and they turned it down. I think a lot of people knew about Amari's Michael Fletcher knee surgery. A lot of people said that knee was on borrowed time. So that would have been a last-ditch effort. Like I don't believe LeBron is gonna. I think that's what the Cavs are thinking. I don't believe LeBron's gonna leave, and I don't think getting BG. Oh yeah, look at Wooders, bro. See, Wooders is. It's funny, man. Wooders is like I am with the Knicks. I know all the people that see. Wooders is a Bull fan, and I know everybody that the Knicks passed on. He knows everybody that the Bulls passed on. Tim Hardaway, I believe, was the 10th pick, and BJ was 18. So I want to look at that draft real quick. I'm gonna look at the 89 draft real quick. So he didn't. Mookie was 12. Hardaway was 14. So now he didn't pass on. BJ, and funny, BJ Armstrong was the pick right after Shawn Kemp, and Dana Barros went right in front of him. They passed on Blue Edwards. That was Blue Edwards pretty good. Lottie Box wound up going 26. Sherman Douglas was out there. Yeah, I mean, I would say BJ was that big. Clifford Robinson, the late great Clifford Robinson. Wow, Cliff played 18 years in the league. Dino Roger again. Reason why these Europeans were so fixed so late because there was no guarantee that they were coming over. Like we didn't think of Europeans the way we think of them today. But yeah. Oh, they had Stacey. Oh yeah. Okay, so he did well. He had 2 first-round picks, and Stacey King. He passed on George McLeod, a big-time sharpshooter out of Florida State. Randy White, he sucked. Pooh Richardson. Now he could have got Pooh Richardson. Nick Anderson. That was Chicago. Mookie Blaylock and Tim Hardaway. So he passed on these guys for Stacey King. J.R. Reed got picked right before him, and Glenn Rice at number 4. So yeah, that 89 draft was something else. Where did Bimbo Coles go at? Bimbo Coles, drafted.
I ain't heard in a long time.
Yeah, you know why? Because old boy Johnny had on FYF channel a guy Wally Carpenter who played at Virginia Tech with Bimbo Coles. Okay, no, but I think Eagles got drafted the next year. Then Hayward Workman, shout out to Hayward Workman. Look at some of these. Greg Grant was a pretty good player. Damn, Doug West. I remember Doug West. He played with the Timberwolves and all of them. Yep, he was Minnesota pick. You know, so I mean, you know, again, BJ was a career 9.8 scorer. That was a decent pick. I can't. But again, that's a myth that he came on here and tried to act like the Bulls just showered him with lottery pick talent. But you know, we think of these guys as better than they were because they won championships with Jordan.
Exactly. That's the key.
Yeah. We think of these guys in Cleveland as bums. Let me look at how Darius Miles' career went.
Luke Longley on Phoenix. I said, look at Luke Longley on Phoenix. Nobody even remembers he played for Phoenix.
Nope, sure didn't. I remember him playing for Timberwolves, but not Phoenix.
Oh, who? Luke Longley? Oh,
Luke
no.
Longley,
okay, yeah, it was Timberwolves. Yeah. But yeah, they don't remember. But obviously I don't either. But yeah, a lot of people don't remember when those players played for different teams. They were, I mean, you don't even know who they were on there. They were not close to what they were when they were Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, I mean, see, and that's the thing. Darius Miles played the same position as LeBron, and obviously LeBron became that guy. Darius Miles, you was just hoping could be a guy. I'm trying to like remember why they didn't really kind of work out. So, you know, Miles had a career 10 points a game. Pretty much him and Ricky Davis were cleared out of there by LeBron's rookie year. Matter of fact, yeah, he wound up in Portland. So again, Miles was there, 11 points a game before LeBron. I mean, like 9 points a game. He was fourth in rookie of the year. He had a couple of decent years. He averaged 14 with Portland, and the Eagles out of the league. Oh, injuries killed him too, man. A lot of these guys, once came straight out of high school, injuries hurt their career. But they didn't. Let me look at the transaction why they got rid of him. Because again, that's something you can criticize. You trade him for Darius Miles. The next thing you know, you trade Darius Miles. Andre Miller was shit. I love Andre Miller was so underrated, bro.
He was on my Spurs, so shout out to Andre Miller.
Yep. They traded him for Ruben Boucher and Jeff McInnes. Jeff McInnes, now I gotta see what Jeff McInnes did with the Cavs. He played with the Cavs for one season. After that, next thing you know, he's in New Jersey. You know, he was actually, before Westbrook, the only player to have more assists on a LeBron-led team than LeBron. And that only happened the first season. Cleveland, by second season, LeBron averaged 7 assists a game. McInnes 5.1, and he's out of there. So I mean, again, if I looked at let me look at 05 Cleveland's transactions, because this is, again, they won 42 games. They traded Tony Batty, a second-round pick, and they brought in Drew Gooden and Stephen Hunter and Anderson Varejao. That was a good fucking trade. See what I'm saying? Bro, they traded Kevin Ollie for Eric Snow. Kevin Ollie was the same player as Eric Snow, pretty much. Eric Snow just had the finals run with AI, right? They traded Drew Gooden, Stephen Hunter, and Anderson Varejao. Stephen Hunter was a decent player. Look, I know these names are fucking like they actually signed Robert Tractor Trailer, RIP to him. Is it the same Scott Williams with the Bulls? Yes, it was. They signed Scott Williams later in his career. Oh, they waived Stephen Hunter. Where did Stephen Hunter do? He's a 7-footer. So they traded for him. All right, he was just a throw-in. Who cares? He never played for the Cavs. Yeah, wound up with Phoenix, Philly. Okay. All right, let me just look at this. I'm going to go back to this. I'm sorry. They signed Lucius Harris as a free. Again, they bringing in these guys. Jeroy Moiso. Nothing crazy. They brought in Jerry Welsh. Again, they're bringing in guys, catch-and-shoot guys to play. So I want to look at the transactions in 05. So they signed Larry Hughes and Daniel Marshall. Daniel Marshall is longer tooth. He's old. But Larry Hughes is a free agent. That wasn't a bad trade. That wasn't not a bad deal. Larry Hughes, the year before coming to the Cavs, averaged with Washington, he averaged 22 points a game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. I'm saying. Now, again, we know that he got injured a lot. They drafted, they signed Larry Hughes over for 22 points a game. I'm just saying, again, none of these rules really worked out that great. Yeah, R.J. Miller's, what was the Nuggets Miller's rookie year? Right. None of these moves are like all-time great, but they were solid fucking moves. So again, to sit there and make the statement that, you got 4 guys out of the YMCA, like, come on, it's not fair. It's not fair. I'm not going to act like Larry Hughes all the time. Larry Hughes was a hell of a talent. The year before coming to the Cavs, he averaged 22. His first year with the Cavs, 15, 4-4, 31 games for the whole season. So you already see the injuries is starting to mount on him. Larry Hughes had the first year in Golden State, he averaged 22-7, 6-4. So look, Larry Hughes was not a bad player. I'm trying to look at his contract to see what kind of money they threw it. Look at his contract history. What?
Let's do what your boy likes to do. Let's hit ChatGPT. Who had the better team in their first, 3-4 seasons?
Well, who made the better transactions in general? So they can give a big bag of cash to Larry Hughes. He got $10 million. And mind you, this is almost near max money. They gave him $10 million in 05, and he got $13 million in 07. And that was the year they made the finals run. By 08, he's with the Bulls. By 09, he's with the Knicks, Sacramento, and by 12, he's out of the league. Okay. Well, let's do that. Let's do ChatGPT. Who generally made the better draft picks and roster moves in the first 4 years of Jordan versus the first 4 years of LeBron?
Okay, give me 1 second.
And they're gonna glaze up the Scottie Pippen move again. And it wasn't like the Scottie Pippen move was a great move right away. It took a couple of years.
And you said in the first how many years?
4 years. Let's go 4 years. Who made the better draft picks and transactions? Like the better draft picks and better free agent signings the first 4 years. I'm forget the fact that the Cavs drafted pretty well before LeBron got drafted.
Okay, let me see. Was it Jerry Krause? And who was for Cleveland? It was.
Let me look at the name. I couldn't even tell you. Cleveland. Let's go Cleveland. Executive is Danny Ferry. So it's Jim Paxson in 04. Jim Paxson 05. By 06 is Danny Ferry. So really it was Danny Ferry until LeBron left, and I actually they fired Danny Ferry after LeBron left. And it was Jim Paxson the first 2 years. So that's the main guy in charge of the front office.
So Jim Paxson.
Jim Paxson and Danny Ferry.
And that was 2004 through what, 2008?
Yeah, 2004, 2008. For the Bulls, would be 84 to 88.
All right. Okay, let me share my screen.
85. Actually, 85 to 89.
85 to 89. Okay, let me share my screen because I haven't let it run yet. So let me see. Okay, let me go. Can y'all see the screen?
Yeah, we see it real good.
All right, so we gonna see what ChatGPT says.
This is a real nerd show right here. But it's all good, man. We here for educational purposes. Whether you're man Sports Fitness Red, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll.
Hey, that's the homie from he's a friend of the channel, so yeah, we gotta give him a shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Sports Fitness Red, man. Shout out to AOH, like you say. You know what I'm saying? I show up, I'm like, look, and I got people. We kind of dapped it up, man. Even at the end of the show, me and Lamont, we all dapped it up, man. We saw where each other were coming from. It was a very summary, extremely high. Again, the Scottie Pippen glaze. All right, so the Charles Oakley Bill Cartwright move was a good move, right? For them getting caught. I forgot how they got. Yeah, they tell you. See, they're not putting in the. So, see, of course, they got the draft picks. Luke Jackson, that was a terrible pick. I ain't gonna lie. Shannon Brown was a decent pick. Daniel Gibson, they're not giving love to Daniel Gibson.
Oh, they call Larry Hughes a bust. Okay, forfeit next to.
Acquired Drew Gooden. They don't like that.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Larry, they free agent signed to Larry Hughes. And see, again, Larry Hughes was good before he got there. Injured while he was there. I bet you they're gonna say the draft picks before Jordan got there was great. Look at, they love every pick move that they made. Well produced. Stacey King, B.J. Armstrong, Brad Sellers. They love the Brad Sellers move. Brad Sellers was a 6th pick in the draft, fellas. He'd average 6 points a game. He averaged 3 rebounds a game. 7-footer. Averaging 6 and 3. They love that move.
Wins easily. Wow. Okay, well, that's
ChatGPT follow question. I'm gonna ask him a follow question. Why do you like the Brad Sellers pick so much? Why is Brad Sellers like? I already knew this was coming. I knew it. I knew they would glaze up Pippen because again, Pippen it became. Why pick was controversial.
Ultimately, a miss. Crowds overrode Michael Jordan's wishes. MJ wanted the Bulls to draft Johnny Dawkins. Duke guy.
Wow, they passed on Johnny Dawkins. Yeah, they went for a big man, right?
Triangle offense fit. That was in '86.
You know what I'm saying? This is why I can't fuck with ChatGPT. They did have text glitches there.
Yeah, but I don't think
they wouldn't implement it. They would not implement it until 89, 90. What are we talking about?
Yeah, this is off. Yeah, ChatGPT. They don't know what they're talking about. Supposed triangle offense fit. No, that's not true.
You know what I'm saying? This is the problem, and I think this is when I hear God tell me 1 and 9 without Scottie Pippen, they don't understand the progression that Scottie Pippen needed to take to become Scottie Pippen. Verdict bad pick, of course. But we know. Why do y'all think Stacey King was a good pick? I mean, again, I'm not acting like the Cavs hit the jackpot on most of those picks. They didn't. They actually picked better before LeBron got there than after. But I've also proven tonight that the Bulls, the Bulls pick awful. Orlando Woolridge was 8 from 81. You got to go back to 75 before they had a good draft pick again. Before that, 9 years before Jordan is what in grade school. The last time the Bulls made a couple of good draft picks in a row. I'm just saying. Oh man. Yeah, again, I knew it. I knew they would do that. And again, the fact that they build into a contender, and they were great, and I think I proved here.
I could have done a deeper. I could do a deep search. I just didn't do that.
Yeah, no, I get it. I keep a surface level. I kind of knew what was going to go down, and again, ChatGPT. There a lot of that. Again, Krause was looked at as a great GM. What is it showing you, man? What is with all my? He don't want to point me in this direction. It frees up Gay. So look, Lamont. It said that Krause was a better GM than Danny Ferry and Jim Paxson. I'm just saying. So what do we believe? Do we believe that the Cavs were actually better at making transactions or the first few years of LeBron than the Bulls were? Because I think we kind of proved it. The Bulls didn't make no significant free agent signing like Larry Hughes. Yeah, we look back at Larry Hughes and not realize how good he was. Now, Larry Hughes was actually supposed to be better than he actually wound up being. He had a couple of pretty good seasons on so-so teams. But I'm just saying, the Bulls didn't give no major free agent signing. They drafted Scottie Pippen and developed him well. And they drafted Horace Grant and developed him well. And they drafted Tony Kukoc in 90, and he was on the Bulls by 94. Other than that, they didn't give Jordan a bunch of talent. B.J. Armstrong, Stacey King, Scott Williams. You know what I mean? Cavs didn't know what to do with Hughes. Yeah, that's pretty true. That's pretty true because again, they had him for 2 years. By the third year, he's in Chicago. But man, Luke Jackson, Brad Sellers. The Bulls didn't even have a pick. I mean, let me go back to the Bulls draft because in the '89 draft, let me just go ahead to the Bulls draft pick. Brad Sellers, Keith Lee. Yes, the year they drafted Keith Lee and traded him out. Let me look at the transactions for the Bulls that year. Hold on. Because Keith Lee never played for the Bulls, I believe. So I want to see who the Bulls get for Keith Lee. They might have gotten George Gervin or something for all I know. I don't know. Where we at? We're a real nerd show today, man. I'm a knowledge seeker, so there's things that I don't know that I go back and look at before I start speaking it as facts in the Bible. So the Bulls in '85, they traded Mitchell Wiggins, Tyrone Corbin for a second-round pick. Ty Corbin was later selected. Wallace Bryant. Okay, we all know they drafted Michael Jordan in '84. They drafted Keith Lee, Ken Johnson, Albert. All right, so they drafted Keith Lee, and I'm trying to realize when did they traded. So they traded Keith Lee and Enos Watley. Oh, okay. All right. Now, okay. So now, okay. That was a good move because he got Oakley and Calvin Duncan. So Keith Lee was the draft pick. Oakley traded up to get Oakley. Enos Watley I heard of that name. He was a pretty decent guard. Pretty decent backup guard. He played a couple of years with Chicago. Time I'm looking at Enos Wiley. Yeah, he's with Atlanta, Portland. Played 13 years in the league, so you can't, 10 years. He actually played 2 years, 3 years, 3 of those 4 years. He was bouncing around either CBA or overseas. So yeah, Keith Lee for Charles Oakley. Oakley, I believe, was the 8th pick in the draft. 9th pick, actually. Okay, so I'll give Krause some credit for getting Oakley, right? I'll give Krause some credit for getting Oakley. He traded Keith Lee for Oakley. So that was essentially the first pick after Michael Jordan was Charles Oakley. Now again, by the time they're going up against the Celtics in '87, Oakley's the second leading scorer. I'm just saying, y'all killed Jordan for getting swept by the Oakley's the second leading scorer on the team. Brad Sellers, sir. Brad Sellers. Brad Sellers averaged 3 rebounds a game, man. Oh boy.
Sad right there.
Yeah. I mean, so the Keith Lee for Oakley was a good because Oakley, was drafted by Cleveland. So Keith Lee, I'm gonna see what Keith Lee wound up doing. Again, a lot of times these guys that get traded like that, they injuries. So Keith Lee was 6'10", and out of Memphis, he played. So Keith Lee 7'6". Again, and that was the thing too, right? Remember when the Bulls drafted Jordan, they took out a full-page ad in the paper. They took out a full-page apologize for not getting a big man. I didn't say you killed Jordan. You guys pretend Jordan had a flawless career. No, we don't. We understand that there were bumps, there were bumps and bruises. Jordan was amazing every year, as we know. So LeBron was amazing most years. LeBron had shortcomings. He had a lot more than Jordan. We know this. My point is that Jordan, like people act like Krause and everybody gave Jordan all this talent, gave Jordan these great teams. No, they developed. Everybody developed into great players. Cartwright, we all know Cartwright was on the downside of his career. The Oakley for Cartwright move was a good move because you had a lot of power forwards. You needed a center in there. Again, as we see, the Bulls tried to get a lot of big men to surround Jordan, and they got a wing in Scottie Pippen, who eventually worked out. Again, the Scottie Pippen move. The Scottie Pippen move. DeJuan Wagner was supposed to be LeBron Scottie, essentially. Injuries. They tried to get hit light in the bottom with Larry Hughes. Again, injury. They didn't know how to really use him. Darius Miles. Again, they traded him away for Jeff McGinnis. They tried to put a team around LeBron, and they did. They wound up with a lot of good defensive teams. They wound up with a lot of good pieces. Again, Anderson Varejao, they made a pretty good move getting Anderson Varejao. Anderson Varejao. I forget who else came over there in that deal. You already had a big Z there. He had Carlos Boozer. Carlos Boozer played the 1 year and took more money to go to Utah. If you want to tell me Cleveland's bad for not locking him up, knowing that they had a second round that hit, I mean, that's fair, But yeah, man, I mean, I'm just gonna throw the notion down that the Bulls, the Cavs had 5 guys out the 7-Eleven. You picked up 5 guys to come take to the gym. That's what the guys said. That's why we were talking about it. These guys were better than. Oh yeah, they want Drew Gooden and Anderson Varejao on the same trade. So again, Drew Gooden. Oh, the ChatGPT didn't like the Drew Gooden move. The Cavs refused to go over the cap again, but they brought in Larry Hughes for a near max deal at the time. They brought in Larry Hughes as a free agent. That was a pretty good move. Now they refuse to go with the cap. I would have to look at payroll year by year to believe that. But I mean, like some of these guys were, if you say they're not that good, so why would they go over the cap? We know that they famously went over the cap LeBron's second stint because they had the then record payroll, which I said many times. So yeah, the 4 teams that went straight to the finals, they made sure that they went over the cap. And again, they they gave up a lot of draft picks and stuff like that. They had, obviously they recouped some when they traded Kyrie and pretty much put the keys in place to have the team that they have now that won 64 games. But
Jordan's defense, though, you look at his contemporaries, he had those Lakers, those Celtics, Detroit eventually. Those teams were in the Sixers. They had to build. I mean, if they wanted to win anything, they had to build immediately.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm looking at and again, all right. So I'm looking at this 05 team. LeBron's only making $5 million, obviously the rookie scale. Eric Snow, the second highest paid player. Again, Eric Snow was a free agent signing. Again, that was never meant to be a home run hit. I gotta look at rosters and stats, salaries. I'm gonna look at contract. I gotta look at contracts, right? Where we at? Okay, let's go to 06 because I wanted to feed that. I mean, it's probably Lamont is probably right here. I'm not saying he's wrong, but it's not like they didn't try to get players around them. That's the part that for contracts you need the current so Larry Hughes makes $10 million, Eric Snow making $5 million, LeBron's still on his rookie deal. They trying Daniel Marshall, Drew Gooden is still on his, I believe he's on his rookie deal by 08. I'm sure probably could do a better. I probably could go and look at payroll by year. I mean, again, the Bulls were notoriously cheap as well. I hate to do the what about it to Larry Hughes, $13 million again. Highest LeBron at $6 million. So it's by 07 LeBron starts making big time money. Now you got to pay LeBron himself, remember? So LeBron actually got to the finals on his rookie deal. And this is when he famously signed the 3-year with the 4-year with the opt out after 4, and obviously we know 2010. So they actually signed Ben Wallace. They signed Wally Serbiak. I mean, come on. What's the cap in 2008? Hold on. Cleveland payroll by year. Because I'm looking at a team that's over the cap. The cap is like in 2008 is like 40 something million. All right. See, this has got the current payroll and the contracts. And that's like right now. Okay, salary cap history. This is what I can look at. Cleveland. It's not really showing me what I want to see. This is showing me current. Hold on. See, again, they gave Ben Wallace a lot of money. And that didn't work out. It was a move that didn't work out. No. They gave Ben Wallace. It was the Bulls that gave Ben Wallace, not the Bulls. It was the Bulls that gave Ben Wallace some money, but they wound up with Ben Wallace on the team. And Ben Wallace at that point was washed up. Let me see. Yeah, I guess I can't. You look on Basketball Reference. Let's go to Sports Rack. It's not really. They're giving me just this year's money. Let me go to Stat Muse. Shit. It's showing me stats, not salary. Ay, ay, ay. Payroll from 1990 to 2004, 2024. Ay, ay, ay. All right. I mean, I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it, but I see where they at least tried. Again, none of the moves hit. I will say this: they tried. I'm looking at '08. I'm looking at the '08 team, and that team is firmly over the cap. It got to be firmly over the cap. The cap was no more than 50 million at most. Okay, so I took myself out of the Cavs thing. Hold on. This salary cap history is not going back. It's only going to the current team, and we already know that the numbers now is crazy. What's Rack giving me? This is giving me current Cavs roster. I can give it to you. I just don't. Again, I see them make moves. I see them give guys. Again, a max deal in the mid 2000s, late 2000s, is $14-15 million. They they wound up getting Ben Wallace for that. I think. Oh yeah, it was Ben Wallace for Larry Hughes. Was kind of the deal. And again, the Bulls didn't go over the salary cap either. So I mean, it really is comparable. It's just that the moves worked out, the system worked out for these players. That's really what it is. And again, I think the issue is we don't judge these teams correctly. We really make more of the players than what they were. And again, because it didn't work out and the Cavs weren't a multi-time finals run team, we act like the Cavs were all bums. That's not true, Lamont. It's not true. Lamont acting like he got this one, but again, I'm really just looking for the proof to tell me that the Cavs did not go over the cap. Again, were they in position to go on the cap? It's not that easy. It really isn't. But they did try to spend money. They didn't do a great job of putting talent around them, but they did try. And that's all I've ever said. They tried. They tried. Like, you get a LeBron there, you get a Jordan there, you're gonna try. The Bulls hit on a few moves. They hit on a few draft picks, trades. That's all they needed. That's all they needed. So yeah, man. It should be common knowledge that the Bulls were not hitting on that draft pick. They hit on 1 year. Shout out to Wooders for reminding us. They hit 1 year, and that was '87, where they had multi-draft picks, and they hit Horace Grant and what's the name? And they drafted Stacey King in '89 with the 6th pick, and they drafted B.J. Armstrong with the 2nd pick. Other than that, come on, man. They drafted a bunch of. It was a bunch of draft misses, man. And that's what happens. But again, we tomorrow. It's funny because tomorrow's the NBA draft. Let me look at a quick mock draft real quick. See if there's any surprises. I think it's going to be. Let's see. Look at ESPN's mock draft. Let me look at big Spurs. Giannis going to. Is Giannis going to the Spurs?
We're gonna get him tomorrow. Yeah, we're gonna give him that number 2 pick.
Oh, okay. I thought you were breaking something. I was about to
Oh
say like.
no, no,
Uh,
I
we, we
wish.
we know where he's not going. He's not going to L.A. Despite Austin Reeves being offered for every superstar in the world. The Laker fans swear to God that Austin Reeves is going to get them whatever superstar their little hearts desire. Oh boy.
That's
Hey
their biggest
Lamont.
trait.
Hey Lamont. If you're still listening, you heard it here first. The Lakers will not make the playoffs next year. I predicted the Lakers will not
Oh,
make the play.
oh,
I'm standing on it.
oh,
Now we're
man.
gonna see. Look
That's kind of
again. I
bold
can be
right there.
made to
That's
look
kind of bold.
foolish if they all of a sudden make some good moves. But I think
That's
the
kind of
Lakers are
bold.
not making the playoffs, bro. I can't
I don't
see
know
it.
if I can co-sign
I
that.
can't see it.
I don't know if I can co-sign that.
I know they'll do whatever they can, but I really think, especially with the West, I think a lot of teams are going to get better in the West. I think the Lakers are going to struggle mightily next year. I know with LeBron, I think with LeBron and uh, LeBron's going to be 41. Luka, again, he looks in good shape, but I don't see again. I think they need young talent there, and I don't see where they're getting it. I think they're going to make a stupid 4-for-1 deal for a second level type of super, not even a superstar, second level star, and they're going to deplete a lot of their depth. Cooper Flag. See, Lamar don't like Cooper Flag either. Cooper's only 18. He's like 18 in 3 months. The rest of these guys are 19. He's 6'9" and growing with a 7-foot wingspan. Cooper's going to be a beast. Now, your Spurs are predicted to draft Dylan Harper. They got VJ Edgecombe going as a guard to the Sixers. Great. Wow. So Ace Bailey not. Yeah, Ace Bailey dropping this one I'm looking at. Hornets drafted Trey Johnson. Jazz drafted Jeremiah Fears. So they got the Wizards getting Ace Bailey. Okay. Pelicans getting the big from Duke, Kamen Maluk. The Nets are getting John Nepple. Yeah, they need a wing that can shoot. Derek Queen going to the Raptors. I think they need a big man, a throwback big man. I like him compared to Wendell Carter. Carter Bryant.
Toronto?
Toronto. They got Derek Queen going to Toronto from Maryland. Yeah.
Yeah, they got Podol, don't they?
Yeah, they got Poto, but he's more of a 4-5. He is a lot like Wendell Carter, Derek Queen. So that's a pretty good move for them. They need a 4-5. These names I never heard of. A bunch of Stronger, Nerlens Noel, or Serge Ibaka, Joan Berger. This is going to the Thunder with the Heat's pick. Spurs second pick. It's like no one. See, so I'm okay. Another French guy, Georgetown center Thomas Sorber. Oh my God! I mean, again, hey, these guys. I should have been watching some Casper Jaconius to the Grizzlies. Cedric Coward. Never heard of these people. I've been falling off on my the Wizards getting Danny Wolf. Is he related to Joe Wolf? They like him as a Frank Kaminsky with extra sauce.
Frank Kaminsky?
Boy. No, yeah. You remember Frank Kaminsky, Frank the Tank?
Yeah, I remember Frank. Yeah. I'm like, what kind of extra sauce? Because
Rashia Flemings, a bouncy Markieff Morris. Wow. Look, the Knicks traded 2 draft picks. They traded the 19th. That's going to the Nets. No, George Hill, Devin Harris type. I'm saying I'm happy with Cam or with Bridges. The Knicks pick is going to go to Hanson Yang. They liken him a Chinese center, 7'2". They liken him as another Marcus Gasol. So I mean, if Hanson Yang turns into a player for the Nets, then maybe. But I ain't tripping. All right,
about Marcus Gasol in this current NBA. That's not saying much.
So you a Hills fan? How do you like Drake Powell? They got him as the last pick of the first round.
I mean, I'd be happy for him to get picked. I don't know. A lot of current Carolina players just don't, to me, aren't NBA ready type players. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, this is out of the top five. This is a weak ass draft. Let's keep it
Yeah.
real.
So I mean, he may make a roster, but I don't see him. I haven't seen a Tar Heel in a while that I think can actually be something in the NBA. They're great college players, great team players, but they're not NBA style players in my book. So.
Hey, but Lamont, I predicted the Cavs. I mean, I predicted the Timberwolves at 6. All right, I said it. I wanted to say Timberwolves at 5. I really wanted to, but I was giving your boy LeBron a lot of credit. I thought that they would grind out one of. I thought they would be down 3-1, and I thought they would win game 5. Game 5, they got smoked. They're no big men. See, that's the problem. You're right. No one cares. I'm a nobody channel right now. But I've been right more than I've been wrong, Lamont. And again, you go and see, the more you pay attention, the more you see some of my predictions. Again, I can't tell you much about this draft. I basically watched 5 Duke games all year. So I know about the 4 Dukies. I just didn't get a chance to watch a lot of college basketball. So I know a little bit about the 5 Dukies. I've seen enough of their game to get an idea. Other than that, I can't tell. I didn't see no Rutgers. The Rutgers is right down in our backyard. I didn't watch them play. So I don't know how good these guys are gonna be. I would have to watch a little bit of combine rehash to get an idea. But it's a Cooper Flag. Again, he's 6'9" and growing. Again, this is a guy that's 18 years old. Don't expect Cooper Flag to be like setting the world on fire. Expect him to make a few exciting plays and showcase the future. If I'm the Mavericks, I'm bringing him along slowly, knowing he's an 18-year-old. Like, he's not supposed to be in his draft pick. He reclassified. Because he was born and just like LeBron, he was born at the end of the year. Right, but LeBron came in he's basically the same age LeBron came in at, pretty much. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, this is
Cooper.
As I've said, man, we gotta really look at how we judge teams. Again, you're gonna probably have about 5 or 6 good players from this draft. Even 4 or 5 2 or 3 guys that make an impact next year, but remember what you're looking at. You gotta wait a year or 2 for these guys to really. Because even remember the Thompson twins, they had flashes in their first year. Yeah, that second year they're looking at some of the best defenders in the league, and both of them,
Yeah,
Detroit
will be nice.
Yeah, Indiana's beating the Storm right now. Caitlin Clark with another turnover. Well, she does. Angel Reese had a really good game. I was actually doing a little play-by-play on that. Angel Reese wound up with 16, 17, and 6 assists. That was it. I'm gonna look at all the people that hate her online. She had a great game today. That was a really great game.
She had 16, 17,
and 6. Yeah, 4 steals. Come on now.
Hey, that's a complete game.
Come on now.
Yeah, complete.
Lakers will be a playing team. How about that, Lamont? At the very least, I will give them their week to play in, but I think they want to. And it's funny because if they make the play, you already know that Big Daddy Silver gonna fix that game. Whatever game they need to win, Silver gonna fix that game because there's no way they can have the Lakers out of the playoffs. But I think it's not even. I think it's gonna be tough. Week into week again. Yeah, y'all we can have a lot more discussions. I wanted to do that. Y'all, I mean, what do y'all got lined up for tomorrow? Y'all gonna really are you gonna finally do the show tomorrow?
Yeah, we supposed to yeah, and I forget about the draft. So we're gonna talk about the finals, and we're gonna talk about them trades. But yeah, we're going live tomorrow for the GoCast podcast show. So Yeah, we're gonna probably go through the draft too because we forgot all about it. So I was thinking it was
Yeah,
Thursday.
yeah. I know.
It's
You
2 days.
know, and again, we got a 2-day draft, so the second
Yeah,
round
so
will
it's
be
2 days.
on Thursday, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna discuss some of that and some of the finals talk. Just talk about some of Shea doing what he did and some of these crazy trades. Porzingis, Drew. You see
Yeah,
Boston, they're trying to shed some of that.
Boston, yeah, said some salary, trim the fat.
Yep,
Yeah,
they're working quick. So,
Do you think Atlanta buys Porzingis out? I don't know. I think he got a couple more years on his deal. That's a lot of money.
it is a lot of money.
Atlanta's gonna be terrible. Atlanta's gonna be terrible. Oh, they get Jalen Johnson back.
But I mean, you compare Trae Young with the Porzingis. If Porzingis can stay on the floor, that would be a solid duo.
Can you count on Porzingis at this point anymore?
That's the only thing. Yeah, how much do you trust?
What happened? What's going on with Capella? Is he a free agent?
I think he is. I think he's because I've heard rumblings that he might be some teams looking at him. Let me look it up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Boston took George Niang in a draft, like a second round draft pick. They desperately want to get rid of a lot of salary.
So they gave him up for nothing. So they get 23 mil out of it. So I mean, that's
23 mil. Yeah, again, you're shedding a lot of money out over that second apron, which turns into real cash value. So yeah, and if you're not like a person is going to make like 36 or 37 million next year, if you can't count on him to make it to the playoffs and give you more than 4 points a game, like that's not going to work.
I didn't realize Capella's so young. He only 31.
He's been around for a while.
Yeah, so
he was there famously when James Harden and them almost upset
Yeah, crazily he was he's a free agent. He's an unrestricted free agent.
Unrestricted free agent. So Porzingis is there to absorb salary. I don't know what I think. Atlanta has a lot of structural issues. I don't think Trae Young is a great leader. They're gonna be bad. I mean, the Celtics will probably get a playoff spot, but you can't count on them to win those 60 games next year. I know that much.
Oh no, they definitely win.
Yeah, I did it in the All Ball TV chat. I put earlier. You saw when I did the video. I named 14 teams I think can win a championship next year, depending on the moves they make in the off season. So. Man,
it's shaping up to be an interesting. I'm probably gonna be glued to the draft because I feel like there's gonna be some trades that might shake some things up.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. More, Cooper Flag. We all know where the big guys are going. I mean, obviously where Ace Bailey goes. Again, he kind of. I guess this mock draft I was looking at dropped him to 6. But where Ace Bailey goes, a lot of draft put VJS come going to Philly, and then, he's a big guard that I guess they need. Quentin Grimes is going to be an interesting. Going to be a lot of good free agents, so it's going to be a lot of rumblings. God damn, Caitlin Clark! You lucky, Sophie Cunningham got your. Is that Sophie? It's another white girl. Caitlin Clark, I'll tell you, man. I'm sorry. So Indiana's winning by 10. She has a good team, but Caitlin Clark, they stop this face of the league bullshit. We get she's popular, but to be the face of the league, you actually have to be good. Caitlin Clark is just Dame Lillard. A less efficient Dame Lillard, man. Let's keep it a stat. She's not Steph. She's not fucking Jordan. Like, stop it. He's not. See, Jordan was not a star coming in. It was once they started seeing the performances. Again, you got to remember, the Bulls took out a full-page ad apologizing for not drafting Sam Bowie. I want FYF, if you're still here, to remember stuff like that. Because as David Falk said, Jordan obfuscated the big man position. He's the reason why they draft wings at the top of drafts now instead of big men. Jordan, they never drafted wings. I mean, a few times in history, they drafted Jimmy Walker, Jalen Rose, dad, and a few other times they drafted like Cassie Russell with the Knicks. But generally, they did not draft wings at the top of drafts. Magic was, again, we call him a wing, but he was 6'9", and he was an anomaly. But really, big men were always going to go before guards. You know what I'm saying? So remember, the Bulls drafted David Greenwood with the second pick, and not Sidney Moncrief. Imagine if the Bulls won that draft, that coin flip, and still drafted Jordan years later. Well, no, you know what? It wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't happen because Magic would have had him too good.
Who? The Bulls.
Yeah, the Bulls. The Bulls and the what's they had the coin flip.
Yeah,
and the Lakers won it. That drafted Magic, and the Bulls drafted David Greenwood.
The Bulls would have been something if they had Magic on there.
Magic and Michael, I can imagine. But again, as I told them, man, everybody don't get a Scottie Pippen. That's the thing. Everybody don't get a Scottie Pippen, and even then, a Scott Pippen. You gotta get lucky at some point, man.
Every great player had to play with another great player.
And you found a way. I get it. I can give LeBron again. I want people to know. I want FYF and everybody on this channel to know. I've never criticized LeBron for going to Miami. Never once. I don't criticize players for using their right foot. Okay, so Chris Middleton opted into the last year of his deal, right? He uses player option to opt in for $33.3 million. Right? I'm looking on Twitter, X. And some idiot in the crowd, he don't care about winning. What the bro? If you're Chris Middleton, what would you do? You have a ring already, right?
Yep.
Are you gonna not exercise your play option, given you where you are at this point in career and your injury history? Or are you gonna take that $33.3 million and stay with the Wizards?
Taking that $33.3 million.
This is the problem with ring culture. This is the problem with ring culture because we shame a guy who's already got a ring, who was the second best player on a team that won the championship and had tough injuries, and now he's not supposed to take $33 million to help feed his family for the rest of his goddamn life, on the off chance that he could go ring chase somewhere. Bro, that the days of the super team is over. I want people to understand that when judging teams. I want people to understand that when building teams. Yeah, if I'm Chris Middleton, I'm taking that $33.3 million. I'm making Washington pay me. They'll buy me out in the middle of the season. I can go latch on somewhere. Maybe you'll latch on to the Knicks. Because I do believe the Knicks should be one of the at least top three favorites. I believe we should be the second favorite team after OKC. And that's gonna be determined by the offseason. Again, I'll just go run down this real quick because that might be my next show. Kind of previewing it because again, we'll be able to do this coming after the draft, right? The Knicks definitely have to have the coach in place by free agency. We don't have I think we have a second round pick. So we don't, obviously we traded out 2 picks away for and again, I'm just looking at the two players projected at 19 and 26. I'm not losing any sleep over trading away from Mikal Bridges, one of the best two-way wings in the league. You understand what I'm saying? The Iron Man of the league.
Yeah, y'all made out pretty good with that.
But right now,
I don't think they're gonna find a superstar out of that crew. But
I think the Nets get a pick swap next year, or it might be 2020. So this year's draft was 25. Next, they might be 28 where the Nets get the pick swap because they get our pick outright in 27. Think we keep our pick next year. We get a Washington pick that's got to convert at some point. We can actually trade the Washington pick because it's like heavily protected but I think it's like top 8 protected next year. So he's again the more interesting part about the draft tomorrow will be the trades they go down and the trades that go down, and then we go to free agency. But the Knicks must get their coach in place by the time we get to free agency. Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense if you have the hope of you want the three players to know that's interested in coming here who's going to be the coach. So that Knicks, I heard we interviewed the lead assistant from Minnesota, but we got to get these guys in here for sure.
So yeah. I mean, and then we got Bronny about to dominate summer league. So we got
we can't
Bronny
wait.
do his thing. Yeah,
See Bronny because he's got to be a rotation player next year. The Lakers ain't got shit to work with. Nope. I mean they ain't got shit. They no pick this year, and as far as we know, they're gonna trade 4 guys to get Bam Adebayo. Or they gonna, you still got people thinking that Giannis is coming to the Lakers because he wants to, right?
I mean, who they got?
For Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Dalton Connect, Jackson Hayes. I guess they'll re-sign Cam Reddish. Just
they gonna trade the whole team and then have to fill in with
and again that's where the whole we were talking about the game. Yeah, I threw some LeBron quips or whatever, but we were talking about the game, and then we would start to prognosticate for next year, and then we were like, okay, once you trade for Bam Adebayo, those 4 players, how do you replace them in it? Because I know, okay, now you got your big man. Even though Adebayo, I think is more of a 4, but he's adequate 4 to play with Luka and LeBron, right? Adequate 5, I mean. You're gonna need get rid of a lot of shooters. Yeah, you got to start getting shooters back. Connector's a great shooter.
Yep.
We all know Bronny can't shoot. You know what I'm saying? So look, again, Lamar says I can say stuff because nobody will care when I'm wrong. I mean, look, if the Lakers get a 6 seed, was I really wrong? I was just saying, the Lakers are built to win now. They're built to win now. Again, I think they're going to struggle filling that roster, bro. I mean, people always want them coming to the Lakers somehow, but they're going to get the leftover. They're going to get the leftover lunch meat, and they need a big man. They need a legit solid center. I don't know if you know this, but the majority of the big men are in the West.
Oh.
Zubac, Sabonis, Joker, Ayton, whoever Phoenix gets. Matter of fact, Gobert still in Minnesota. We saw what Gobert did to them. So if you again, I said it. I said it when everybody was glazing the Lakers and Shannon Sharp with the Lakers in 5. I said it. How the hell are they getting to the conference finals with Jackson Hayes as the center? And it really once JJ Redick benched him, it's Rui Hachimura. No.
Yeah, when the 40-year LeBron has to be your center, that's not good basketball.
I think we get ran off the floor. No, write it down, take a picture. I don't give a fuck. Matter of fact, let's get the screenshots out because I wanted to be known that I said that the Lakers, and you heard it here first, are not making the playoffs next year. I didn't think they were. You know me. I didn't think they were great. I stood on it. I didn't think they were good at all. They were a +1 per game. They won. I can't remember the last time a 50-win team was a +1 for the season, like and point differential. You 20 games over 500, but you're winning. It was like you're winning it by an average of 1 point a game. It was crazy, man. But
yeah, the media definitely hyped them up because I fell for it. I fell for it. So,
bruh, I'm telling you, when you had Sports Suck only on here, man, we had SPO on here. I wanted to bring this up, but no, but that's the thing. Even when I went on Lamar's panel, the same thing. I couldn't get it off. I was a hater. If I said anything about the Bulls not about the Lakers not getting out the first round, I was a hater. Oh, you just hating, blah blah blah. I'm like, no, y'all not. Depending on the matchup. And when I saw Minnesota creep up into that spot, I was like, y'all in trouble.
Yeah, sports talk trying to talk
I was like,
together,
okay.
and LeBron and Luka too smart. You saw how smart they were.
Yeah, the two
They got sent
brains.
home in the first round. Yeah.
Oh man. Yo, next time you talk to SEO, tell him King Speaks asks, how does it feel to be horribly wrong?
I didn't even bring that up to him last
I
time.
know.
Yeah, because
He'll tell you I don't care. So that's what I'm saying, right? The way Lamar says, no one cares when I'm wrong, but no one cares when y'all wrong. Y'all all said Lakers in 5. Lakers in 5. Lakers is going to the conference finals at minimum.
The Lakers getting ready for the parade. From what I heard, y'all were.
Shout out to Uncut Hoop, because this video started with what they had out there said that the OKC probably wouldn't get out the first round. It was one of the Morris twins that said it. It was another guy they had up there that said OKC would be lucky to get out of the second round.
I heard that a lot before the playoffs started. Yeah.
A 68 win team. Look, it's crazy because you remind only 68 win teams didn't win a championship. And that we all know the famous one, the 73 win Warriors. But the other one, the 73 Celtics that went 68 and 13, 68 and 14, I mean, with Dave Cowens, JoJo White, and Havlicek, and they were taken out by my New York Knicks, who wound up winning a championship. So every 68 win team at least got to the conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
To believe that a team could win 68 games in this era and not even and be lucky to get out the second round, that was a horrible thing. But see, no one there except for the Uncut Hoops of the world to call these guys out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all really thought that the Lakers were going to have an easy time against the OKC Thunder. Why? Because they won that one game when OKC called off the Dogs after they realized they couldn't win 70 games. Once they lost game 13, they called off the Dogs and they just let the Lakers, but the Lakers got a bit, and then they played the Lakers the next game and smoked them.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp. I remember him saying they figured them out. Yeah, they figured it out. They were out in the first round because he was saying that they figured out how to beat OKC and they were their kryptonite, all that other stuff. And look how it ended up.
This is what I mean. All it takes. I really wish. Like, you can't screenshot videos, but it's like shout out to Uncut Hoop, because he got all the videos, all the prognostications about. Again, it was the ones from OK, but I want the ones about the Lakers. And STO, my God, bro, you was. We know his boy STO is busy, man. He can't, But again, convenient out.
Try to get him back on.
No doubt, convenient out though. When it came down to, okay, what happened with you? I was wrong. You were horribly wrong.
Yeah, man, you talking that basketball IQ stuff. That works fine if you have basketball IQ 1 through maybe 8.
Oh, no doubt. Look, their IQ was off the charts. Here's the problem.
But IQ can't
their foot speed.
Yeah.
Their foot speed wasn't. Their athleticism wasn't.
Exactly.
And I don't see it improving. Again, I told Zay's cuz, y'all gonna need some young athletic wings. Y'all gonna need some young length. Pause. Nope. Y'all gonna need some length on the floor though. But that's been the Lakers' problem since LeBron got there. Getting 6'9" athletic type wings, 6'6" wings who can defend. You're gonna need that. Where are you getting that? No draft pick. It's not a great draft anyway. I mean, that draft pick goes to New Orleans. And we finally close out the Anthony Davis trade with no draft picks. Yeah, they'll probably get a couple of guys off the which the Lakers always do.
Yeah.
They'll probably get a couple of guys off the undrafted free agent pool. But I mean, and again, will LeBron try to whoever's looking good, try to trade him for some old 30-year-old?
Yeah, because Rui ain't
I
gonna
wouldn't be
get
surprised if they trade for Zach LaVine.
I think that shit still though, man. If I'm the Lakers, I don't. But you're probably right. They probably will try to bring in,
another 25-point scorer who won't get there and score 25 points. That's a problem with Phoenix.
Yeah, he ain't gonna give you what you want.
Yeah, because you got one ball. Yeah, you got two of the greatest scorers of all time, and you got one ball. You bring in a third guy that scores, and that's it. It needs the ball to do so.
Yeah, he ain't a catch and shoot guy. He ain't a guy that you can wait till the last 2-3 seconds.
Y'all have been so look. Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant, which is doomed to fail. Unless, and again, because even James Harden can play a high octane offense, but really, those other two need the ball. They need to, they had the rim runners around it. They didn't stay healthy enough. Unless you play it in a high octane, and again, you're not doing that with Luka and LeBron. These guys are not full court fast break guys anymore. Or the LeBron for sure. They didn't. That was the next thing. They didn't run in the playoffs. They didn't run.
Definitely.
It's a wrap. So,
Yeah, they slowed it down, and that was their bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you had
85 fourth-quarter points.
Yeah, if Luka had Derek Lively or Daniel Gafford out there with him, he probably could have done a little more. But Jackson Hayes, and you mentioned Jackson Hayes, who you got out there to to throw those lobs to kind of get those easy buckets when they needed them. They had nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Rui Hachimura, the guy.
How do you rehabilitate Jackson Hayes too? Because obviously Luka's going to be a coach. Exactly. They're not going to fire Luka already unless the team goes up to a disaster start. They're not going to fire Luka. Luka had 51 wins, right? 50 wins. Yeah. I'm just saying. So yeah, man. Again, guys, you guys just seems wrong, man. You got, like I said, I've been watching team basketball. I have to go back and tell guys how good Phoenix was in '93. I have to go back and tell guys how good certain teams were. And so when are we doing the sturdy debate? Because I'll definitely volunteer to go 86 Celtics.
Okay, yeah, sturdy. I just talked to him. I think right before the show, he says he'll be he's out of town this weekend, so he's free next weekend. We're trying
to be alone by then, yeah. So this will be after the fourth, pretty much.
If you get T Perfect or for this weekend, because I was trying to film some this weekend.
Okay. All right.
So
no doubt.
Casual, I think I'm gonna go this weekend too. So if we can get you guys together too, we can go ahead and have enough where we can have this going weekly.
Sounds good. I'll be hitting up T Perfect in this week. Like I said, the week after, that's the week after the 4th. The 4th will be on Friday. Yeah, right. And then,
that's right. That's gonna be. Ain't gonna be a good weekend for me either. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have to. Maybe we can get him during the week sometime, because that's gonna be a.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay,
I'm pretty much open. We can do it like around this time. We can go ahead and record it, and have it ready for the following weeks.
Sounds good. All right. So, all right, we're gonna wrap up. I think it was like I said, I was a real fact finding mission here. looking
Yeah.
at Bulls, Jordan, post Jordan, and Lamar found us again.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lamar for pulling up in
Shout
the
out.
comments.
Yeah, appreciate you for stopping by.
But you talk about the Bulls surrounded Jordan with great lottery talent. And that just didn't happen. And
Yeah.
it finally took 3 years to get to Scottie Pippen, and it took another 3 years before Scottie Pippen became an All-Star. So, and eventually 6 years in, they were ready to win a championship. And I get it. Again, I don't criticize LeBron for going to Miami. I don't criticize any player for using their right to free agency, ever.
Yep.
So I don't do it for Kevin Durant. Another turnover by Caitlin Clark. What does she have tonight? Hold on. Let me look at Caitlin Clark's, because I haven't seen Caitlin Clark made a play all night. But her team is up by 19. And they're glazing Caitlin Clark. Hold on. What does she
You
do?
already know. Man, Jason Whitlock is crazy about that girl. It's insane.
You already know.
I don't listen to him that much, but sometimes I'll catch him and it's like, this dude's ridiculous, man. And he will kill Angel Reese.
Killing her. You already know he got a panda for his audience.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Caitlin Clark is 3 for 13 tonight. She got 6 points and 7 assists. Look, I ain't gonna kill her for that. 6 turnovers. Her team carried her. I mean, and I'm watching the game. She's a +8, but it's Kelsey Mitchell who had 23, Aaliyah Boston had 22. I mean, so she got a good team. Hall got 10 points, 8 rebounds, 14 points now, 8 rebounds. Naija Howard, she only played 13 minutes. Natasha Howard. But yeah, look, Natasha Howard, Boston, she's got a good team, and they're under 500. So and again, they're gonna get to 500 tonight. Skylar Diggins got 15 and 4 assists. Shout out Skylar Diggins.
She's still
And Aduma K got 16, but they taking it on the chin tonight.
What LSU do?
Say again?
I was reading the comment. They said Philip Fry said, "What LSU do?"
I don't know. Was it baseball? I don't think it's going right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the World Series is over too. What? Are you talking about what's her name? Are you talking about Angel Reese? Angel Reese had a monster game tonight. Caitlin Clark played like ass, but they both got W's, right? So, Angel Reese was 16, 17, and 6 with 4 steals, and that's what you're talking about. Right? I know she would another turnover. She got 7. Yeah, she got triple 7s.
They got to start bringing that up now. She's excited.
She got more turnovers than points tonight. She just
that's ridiculous.
7, 6, 7, and 7. She do got 3 steals.
So she had 7 points and 7 turnovers? Or
6 points, 7 turnovers, 7 assists.
Hey, they need to kill. Yeah, she got to get it tomorrow. If that
2 rebounds. I'm just the face of the league, y'all. The face of the league, y'all. And at least June McKay and Skylar Diggins are balling tonight. Yeah.
The other face, he's trying to be like her mentor, Mr.
And you already know the lines when we go on these Facebook groups and look at Juju. Juju gonna be the face of the league when she get here. Hopefully she gets a speedy recovery from her ACL tear.
Yeah, she definitely. I think she's gonna take that from Caitlin because she's on a different level.
Paige Bucher looks like a better player than Caitlin to me. Again, I'm not trying to hate on her. Yeah, she's a phenomenal player. But my God, you know what? Where they lose me at is where they start acting like You're not supposed to play again. Like, why are you guarding her so hard? What? What? Really? What?
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it.
Can you imagine when Jordan came in the league? What? He's the face of the league. The league is going to blow up into proportions.
If you
guarding them so hard.
Yeah, if you spend all your time on a rookie that hadn't done nothing, had won no championships in college, nowhere, yeah, they're gonna go after her. They're gonna make sure, they show her what the WNBA is all about.
And let's keep this 100. Let's keep this funky right here. Paige Bucher, who's going to win Rookie of the Year this year. She's averaging 18 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, and only 2.5 turnovers. She's everything y'all want Caitlin Clark to be. There's a reason why Caitlin Clark went to Iowa and Paige Bucher went to and Paige Bucher's a rookie this year because she used all 5 years of her eligibility. Remember the people they got that went to school around the pandemic, got that extra year. Oh, shout out to Lenny Wilkins. He's there in Seattle.
Yeah, I was trying to get my son. All of those players reclassed. That's what I was trying to get for him.
Okay.
But, we decided not to because he's young for his age, for his group.
Okay.
Age group, yeah. For his class because he's going to be a junior, but he's 15. He's about to turn 16. So he's like he's the youngest in his class. So
is he on the recruiting list? Like the the 7th best power forward in the state of North Carolina, or something like that.
He ain't quite there. I mean, he's getting I'm getting emails and mail from a lot of D2, D3 schools right now. But we're trying to fix that this next season. But yeah, he's on the radar, but he's not nobody that's getting those kind of looks. Not yet, anyway.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's why I wish he had gotten reclassified because I feel like this was his sophomore year because he's about 6'2" now, maybe a little more. He's getting his some meat on him. He can dunk, so it's like he's growing into his body, but senior year coming up quick, so
yeah, no doubt
we'll need a little more time, but we'll see. He's a solid player. He's more. I better not. Well, I'm gonna say he's more Jordan than LeBron. I'll say that.
Got you. Keep pushing, man. Like I said, play Division 2, play Division. I remember back in my. Is Johnny in the chat?
No, I haven't seen him.
Oh, okay. No, because Philip Fry had a Johnny going crazy on the show last week. I was trying to tell Johnny, man, like, bro, I pull up to your whole chat be killing me. I don't crash out like that. I took, I do like Kevin Samuels. I don't even pay attention to the chat. I just spit my truth. Chat. Some people in the chat. I get like 3 people in the chat on my side and 20 people in the chat against me. It's all good. Johnny crashing. I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah, you got something right.
What guy going at you? It's all good, man.
Right if they trying to go at you.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
Johnny's pretty cool though. He's cool.
Yeah, no, he is. Like, at the end of the day, all good guys. I just want look, y'all on that side of the aisle. Y'all, I will never fundamentally agree with y'all, especially when it comes to that guy. But y'all know a little bit of hoop, but y'all don't know as much as y'all think y'all do, and that's what I'm saying. Over here, we know a little bit. Look, what I don't know, I look up. You know what I'm saying? What I don't know, I research. So one thing you can never say, I might be wrong on a couple of facts, but I know a little bit about the game. Again, I don't see it from a great coach's perspective. I see it from a educated fan perspective, and
I'll put the
you want the link? Yeah, we about to wrap up, man. But if you anything next time, you came in here late. You came in here late, but we're gonna put the link next time for sure. I'll be on Thursday night, Philip. You know what I'm saying? I'll be up there for you know, me and Lamont and LaCuz on Zays, man. We had a lot. Yesterday I needed a break. Yesterday I did Friday did my video this morning. I mean this afternoon. And yeah, I was like, bruh, I'm talked out. Friday I pulled up to Ajani. Saturday I was in the comments, and then Sunday I went on Go Jays Kingdom again, and you know close the show there, and then I did Zay, and then we had that whole we was up to like 1:30 in the morning, man, going at it. Me and Zay versus LaCuz and Lamar. Yeah, man. Listen, I say hate is a strong word, but you know, yeah. I mean, look, it is what it is. Lamar came through. He's watching the channel. I really appreciate the views. You understand what I'm saying? Again, we just had a nice little conversation over here, just about teams and how you judge teams. You know what I'm saying? We will broach this subject in the future, especially as we see these teams get put together in the off season, draft night, trades.
Your Royal Rumble. Oh, you want Johnny on again, Philip? Sounds like.
Hey, listen, man. We'll see if they pull up, man. But you know, you gotta give us some space. Maybe next month we'll get them back on, man. You know, in a month we'll pull up if he got time. He was in the comments, so you know, look, it is the thing, right? I can appreciate the guy because they love to talk hoops.
Yeah.
I love to talk hoops, man. I be just, you know what I'm saying? And this is what we do. I talk it in Facebook. I talk it in these barbershops, man, or whatever. You know what I mean? Lunch table talk. That's all we did. We brought it online. And now I get to do it on YouTube. So I appreciate it, man. But yeah, if anything else, if you got anything else, like we go get into the debate league, the debate shows, and
yep, it's we're gonna me and Big Nice recorded ours this past weekend, so I'm gonna drop that probably Saturday.
Okay, cool.
Saturday we're gonna try Saturday, Sunday, we're gonna try to go ahead and record a few more. So so yeah, let me know what T Perfect says. Maybe we can record you guys, and I'm gonna try to do Dart and Casual. They're going one-on-ones. So yeah, we're trying to get these put together and drop them out here for everybody to see. Some decent debates. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be pretty good.
No doubt.
Maybe we can get you and Lamont in one. Finally get y'all.
Yeah, man. We ain't gotta debate nobody's top 10. We could just debate. Like I said, I like teams. I like do team debates. So I'm already thinking. I'm already gonna get on. Yeah, I'm already gonna get.
You know, you all get to speak y'all's mind, so you can't mute them here. So you gotta let everybody get their thoughts out. He had something for Zay too.
No doubt.
You anti-Zay over there, Philip?
Nah, Zay's a Philip. Oh yeah, he wants to debate Zay. Nah, he's a Zay fan, but he wants to debate Zay. Yeah, look, Zay. No doubt, Philip Fry. Like I said, we gonna be again. I didn't think anybody was watching. Like I was looking at the most I had on the views. It said was like 7 or 8. So I didn't think nobody's watching it first, especially when I was running my mouth by myself. But it heated up. Again, we just looked, you know, we went on our nerd fact finding mission about the Bulls drafts around Jordan. Again, like, hey, man, it was some whack drafts. Oh yeah. That's why. Again, that's why when you do collabs, man, you want to get people to hear you. So appreciate you, Philip Fry. I got you. Hey, Philip Fry, you want to get in the debate league? We definitely down.
Hit me up and let me know. because we're looking for as many people as we can get. We're trying to get different faces, different opinions. Yeah.
So
So just let
fact,
me know
man.
who you're going.
Yeah. Let me know. Let me know what anything to your comment. All right. So, like I said, I'm on. I always pull up. I don't just. I wanted Fish from All Ball TV, man. He been coming at me in my takes. He got
Really?
mad. He got mad. I'm like, I know you will. I know you hating on the Knicks, but I told him to come and watch this, and obviously he might have been busy.
We gotta
So
get you and what's his name from that's always on Goat Juan Boy. We gotta get y'all too because he be
yeah, Juan Boy, love to talk. Yeah, like I said, Juan Boy. Look, it's never nothing personal. I always felt like my thing is it's like I feel like you always sniping at me behind LeBron, Lamont, or Johnny. I was like, bro, come at my take 1-on-1, man. Like I told you, pull up over here, bring your boy, I was trying to get Speed lined up. Oh yeah, we got to see a Speed want to come up, but again, we got to Speed wants to debate the fanboys. So.
Yeah. We'll. I'm sure I can get a few of them for him to debate.
Yeah, no doubt. So
we just trying to. And he said, Philip said, "Let me know. Drop his channel link."
Roy Clough Mark Solid.
You talking about Lamont's channel or whose channel?
FYM Sports Debates.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he got a lot of artists overrated in his theme song, bro. He goes at Kobe and Olajuwon in his theme song. Oh yeah, he kills everything 90s, bro, for sure. But hey, stand on it. I could always come at you for it. I couldn't believe he put a team in ChatGPT and he got PJ Tucker at center, and I couldn't beat him with Akeem Olajuwon as my center. You can't make this shit up. Yeah, two of the guys I absolutely watched roast. That's not Caitlin. No, that's not Caitlin Clark.
PJ Tucker against Akeem Olajuwon would be. I mean, that's
barbecue chicken.
That is a massacre. Like that's.
What? Yep, ChatGPT and its modern defenses because of modern defense.
You must put in PJ Tucker.
There's no modern defense that could allow you to do anything with a prime Akeem Olajuwon. Stop it.
Nothing at all. Not with because PJ Tucker was 6'6", 6'7".
6'6", yeah. And that was the case. Then why the hell they struggled against the Lakers that year?
Come on now.
In the bubble.
PJ Tucker stopping Akeem Olajuwon. That's ridiculous.
With help. The fuck out. Okay, then as soon as you send the help, every other 3-point, like he's kicking it out the perimeter, and even with the help, Akeem Olajuwon, like please, there's no one can help PJ Tucker on Akeem Olajuwon, bro. God damn it!
Footwork good. I saw Hakeem kill Dennis Rodman and David Robinson in the what was that 95 playoffs?
Yeah.
Ain't no way PJ Tucker stopping him.
Goddamn right. And then I had KJ as my point guard. Oh, they ain't like him to do nothing. Man, stop it, bro. And I put shooters. I think I had Glenn Rice, shit like that, and I'm losing at 6. Well, I mean, but that's the ChatGPT. We got to upgrade the ChatGPT. Who do you think, Lamont, bro? That's like I said, man. Mr. ChatGPT over here. Oh man! All right, man. Let's wrap this up. Y'all will be on tomorrow. I will be trying to watch. Maybe I'll pull up and say a couple words, but yeah, it's another good show, man. Yeah, KJ at 95 fried up the Rockets. It just so happened that the Rockets won that in game 7. Yeah, man. Well, salute. I think did one boy drop off? All right, we're gonna finish this up. All right, man. Salute. Peace out. I'll see you CW can end the show. All right, he's here. All right, man. All right, I see you dropped off for a minute.
Yeah. I guess my StreamYard telling me it's time to go to bed because it
Oh
just kicked
yeah. So let's
Yeah.
go. All right.
Okay.
All right, man. See y'all tomorrow.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Peace.